Have you thought about how you are going to pay for your child's college tuition, especially as prices continue to go up? In 15 years, college could be over $50,000 a year. Would you rather pay $50,000 a year or a few $100s a month? I know which one I would choose. My name is Najarro and I am a stock market investor. And if you have a child under 10, I believe this video can help you out in the future. I'm sure my parents would love to watch this video, so let's get started. And before we go any further, I am not a parent, but I do have a few friends who are recent parents, and I hope this video can help out Sophia, Saya, Melanie, and any other child in their future. Alright, so let's start off with this chart. We can see the average cost of college over the years and how it is increasing every decade. It's pretty insane, right? A public college cost about $11,000 between 1997 and 1998. Fast forward to 2017 and 2018, it's about 20,000, almost double the price. There has been studies, and it was last updated on July 10th of 2021, that the cost of college in the United States has tripled in 20 years with an annual growth rate of 6.8%. And I want to see what would be the cost of, for example, my college in about 15 years. So I went to NJIT, right? That's where I did my college education for engineering. And right now, a full year costs about $17,674. So let's just kind of put that into a flat $18,000 a year. That's still a lot of money, but $18,000 a year growing at 6.8%, which was the average increase of college tuition per year. And in the next 15 years, tuition for the college I went to would cost roughly $50,000 a year if it keeps growing the same way it has been in the past 20 years. That's a heck load of money. So, I mean, at the moment, like I mentioned, I do not have any kids, but I do believe a great thing is to kind of plan ahead and have some form of goal or some kind of plan to help you out in the future. The last thing you want to do is have a child at 17, and when the child is 17, 16, that's when you start worrying about how to pay for college. And if I ever have a child, the best way for me to do it is by opening a 529 college savings plan. So a 529 college savings plan is pretty much an investment account, and this investment account is one that it has a few tax advantages, especially if it has tax advantages if it's used for qualified education expenses for schools nationwide. That's either college, that's either certain K to 12, so high school, elementary school, certain expenses can be used. Obviously, I am not a tax advisor here, so I would definitely recommend giving a call to your tax advisor, to your accountant, and let them explain to you a little bit more. But I'm gonna show the overview and how powerful this program really is. Like I mentioned earlier on, I'm a stock market investor and I use Fidelity. So if I was to ever open up a 529 college savings account in the future, I would personally use Fidelity because that's the broker and that's the bank I am most familiar with. But what are some great things about the 529? First, tax advantages, right? If you have an investment account, you might be familiar that, hey, every time you make money on an investment, you have to pay taxes. Luckily, with the 529, if you're using the money inside the account for educational purposes for your child, you will be able to use it without paying taxes. And that can save a lot of money. The second thing is, like I mentioned, it can be used for a variety of education expenses from university. Some might even be used for student loan repayments or other K through 12, even other types of expenses in the educational world. So how would I do it? First, like I mentioned, I would go through Fidelity just because that's my way. And I'm going to post a few of the links on the pinned comments below so you guys can click links and read a little bit more so you can find out. But I would definitely say, hey, if you find a broker, give them a call, right? Fidelity here, not a sponsored video at all, but they have a phone call you can talk to and you can ask questions about the 529. It's probably going to take you, 15-20 minutes for you to ask questions, and it can help you so much in the college movement. So for example, with Fidelity, if you open up a 529 account, you can either let them manage your asset allocation or you can build your own investment mix. If it was me personally, if I was them to let them manage my asset allocation, I would look for Fidelity index funds. So these are usually low cost index funds that kind of mirror the market. If I was to build my own investment mix, I pretty much would just go to an individual fund portfolio and pretty much do the Fidelity 500 index portfolio. That's pretty much exactly what I just mentioned in the previous one, just a low cost index fund. So how would this help, right, Jose? I mean, $50,000 in 15 years is a lot of money. So let's take an example right now, right? So let's say you start off with $1,000. $1,000 you start off for your child's investment in the future, and you contribute $100 every month. $100 a month, it's probably a lot to many, might not mean a lot to others. There's always perspective, right? But any little helps. $100 a month for the next 15 years, if it's growing at around 10%, and that's what usually the overall market grows at, 10% rate of return, your investment will be worth $45,000. And out of that $45,000, in theory, you only saved $18,000. So if you would have saved it on your own, you wouldn't even have enough for 1 full year. But now with the overall money gain, you will have enough to cover at least 1 year's tuition, which is definitely helping out a lot. Now imagine contributing $200 a month. $200 a month will now be about $87,000. That's almost 2 years full of tuition. And the great thing is that would only be you saving $36,000. So $36,000 again wouldn't even be valued 1 full year of tuition. But now with the overall 529 and kind of the investment, it allows you to at least pay 2 years tuition. So for me, like I mentioned, I am not a parent right now, but if I ever was, this would be something I personally would open. So there's a lot of questions about the 529, but pretty much it can be used for other types of educations besides college, including trade and vocational schools and more. The other great thing is you always have the right to change the beneficiaries to another family member or even yourself. So let's say you have 2 childs and one of your childs kind of gets a full ride tuition to college. You can move that other account to your other child. So even if your child maybe decides not to go to college, maybe they decide to do something else, maybe they win, like I said, if they get a scholarship, you'll be able to use that money for another child. So there's great things. And however, let's say you decide to use the money for something other than a qualified education expense, you will have to pay income taxes. So you will have to pay that regular tax, and you will also get hit with the 10% penalty on the earnings, which kind of suck. So some final things I want to mention is this can be also used for student loan repayments. At the end of 2019, Congress allows the 529 to be used for loan repayments. So that's recent news. And remember, as years progress, you might be able to use it for other stuff. The other thing is accounts. This account, the 529, is owned by the parents. It is not owned by the child. Because it is not owned by the child, it has a lower impact on financial aid. For example, if you open up individual accounts for your child, if it shows that they have a lot of assets, it might kind of determine that they not be eligible for financial aid. So the 529 helps out in a lot of ways. Like I mentioned, right? I am not a tax advisor right now. I definitely would recommend talking to the Fidelity group or any other group you mentioned, or even your tax accountant. This is pretty much just a breakdown of how much growth and how much this can help out in the long term of things. They also kind of mentioned some creative ways to save. For example, Fidelity, they do have unlimited cashback credit card. If you use this Visa signature card, 2% of your cashback goes directly into the 529 account. So it increases the amount of money going into the account. Overall, at the end of 15, 10, 12 years, it increased the amount of money available for your child's tuition. Another thing is, I know we have a lot of parents right now who have birthday parties for their child. Obviously, everybody has birthday parties, who have celebrations for their childs. When you invite friends over or family over, you can kind of tell them to, instead of bringing a gift, instead of giving the child money, they can give money to the 529 account. There is gifting, and again, you can check out Fidelity for ways like that. And who knows, every year you can build up an extra amount of money, which can help out in the long term of things. So definitely check it out. Like I mentioned, here is the phone number if you guys want to reach out to them. And here's the chat with representative. Again, Fidelity is not the only one who does this, but there are others. This is just the only one I know because I use this bank so much. but I'm pretty sure you can go online, go Google, and just do more research, right? There's probably more videos out here on YouTube that can definitely help you out. So take care, guys. Have a good night and see you next time.